Teaching a dog to go to heel position from a front, it's also called a finish or a return. This is used in competition after a dog has done a stay and then you call your dog to you. It's really handy on walks or if you're in the park and you need control of your dog. It's a way to get them right next to you and focusing on you. It's also a fun trick for the dog because they get to spin. Your dog must know his basic obedience. Use high-value treats as a lure when teaching this behavior. This is Lemmy. He's very good at his basic obedience and he's food driven. So I want to get him interested in the food, maybe do a little bit of basic stuff that he knows first before trying this out. Once I have him focused in front of me, I let him follow the treat and I take a step backwards and I loop it in towards me, okay? So you actually wing the dog out and then loop the dog in tightly next to you. You want to make sure you do that so they're right next to your heel. And then you step up and you'll notice I tilt my hand back while I ask him to sit. And I don't release the treat until he is sitting on the ground. And I mark everything with a verbal yes. So I would say yes and treat. Even though I'm not using a command right now for the flip, I'm saying, I'm letting him follow the lure, and then I say sit, yes, and release the treat. You can teach your dog to do this on either side, but the left side is standard. Now right here I have Lemmy do a front. He already knows how to do this because typically when you call your dog to you, you'll have them sit right in front of you. And then that's when you finish out your heel process. So again, you lure, you step back, and you wing the dog out and then to the inside. And then you'll see I'll go, once he hits his point, I go up in the air for sit, yes, and I release treat. It's important to know that Lemmy has never done this before. He does not know what it means. All he's doing is following the food, which is fine. That's what I want right now. Now, this next one, it's important to see it in full speed. See how he stops short? So I have him come up again and he gets overzealous and overshoots it. But I still want to give him a treat for that because he's still sat and he's just learning. So he doesn't really know what he's doing yet. And that was much better the second time. Now see, I reset him because I want him close to me. And I want to keep him motivated. So I am continually treating him for sitting in front of me. Oh, look at that one. That one was really good. So that's what he's doing. He's just following food. Now, once your dog starts doing this consistently, you can start adding commands like heel, sit, yes, and I'm waiting to give him a treat that time. Notice I didn't give him one right away. And because of that, I gave him two because he's extra special. So I want him a little closer. I would say, let me heel, sit, yes, and treat. You can really use any command you want, but the typical ones are just to say heel, finish, return, or you can do something fun like flip. You would say finish, sit, yes, and then give them a treat. And eventually you'll filter out the verbal sit and it'll just be finish. They will sit out of habit, and then you wait to give them your release word, like okay, and then start again. So this is Lemmy. He's our brand new puppy who has never done this before, and as you can see, he is very excited to work. So I had to show that little moment for Lemmy and his family. This is Happy. We're at the end stages with her, so I'm going to use her to show the last steps. We're using a mat because Happy is not great at fronts. Her little butt twists every which way, so it helps give her more structure, and she's better at it. You can see how my movements are much smaller with her, and I took out the step. So it's basically just down to a hand motion, and I'm still bending over a little bit. She pops up a lot, which is a huge problem that we're going to work on, which you'll definitely come across. If you have a small dog and they're jumping up like this, don't worry about that in the beginning. You can get more structured as they figure it out. You want to keep it fun. Now, she's having trouble popping up, so we're going to try something. which is just to make sure she sits back down as I give her her treat. So that was just the hand motion, but watch, I don't release the treat, and I make her sit first. Same thing this time around, just the hand motion with a treat in my hand, have her sit, and then reward her. So this is a really good bad example. She comes, does a front, I ask her to heel, and look at that nose get all out of gear. So things like that are going to happen. And when that happens, it's really simple. Just reset your dog. They're learning, so don't make a big deal about it or get upset. Just simply, uh-oh, and reset. You don't have to be so firm with them if they're just learning something new. Now right here I had to take an extra step up because she didn't wing herself all the way around without the step. Now here she pops up again, and I've pretty much had it with that behavior. So I don't make some big huge deal about it. She's learning, and I haven't been strict enough with her, so I'm going to be more strict with just repeating what it is I want from her. So I have her come right back into me when she pops up, and I have her sit, and of course she lays down. She likes to lay down. And once she sits, I reward her over and over again for staying in the same place, because that's what I want. I want her to spin around and sit beside me and wait until I release her. Just like you release a dog from a stay, you say, okay, when they're done. It's the same here. You say stay, dog's name come, heel, okay. So I need her to stay in this position until I release her. So we're going to really work on that here and every single time after this, because she's popping up too much. That's going to be really common with especially small dogs. So we got rid of the mat. We filtered out the mat. She's spinning the wrong way, so this is another bad example. I wanted to make sure to include bad examples. It's important. So I step and kind of reset her. It's because she doesn't have her mat. Very nice. So I don't treat her right away. She knows enough to where I'm going to make her wait. But you see how I'm having to bend down more because I had to filter out that mat? Every dog is different. Now I'm going to treat her several times for sitting in the same spot. I've added back in the step. You can see that. So now that I've gotten rid of the mat, I'm going to have to take that step out again. I'm going to have to filter that out again. This is just an example of when she did it beautifully with no movement from my feet whatsoever. And so now I just have to get her to do that without that mat there. And that won't take long. That'll take a few sessions, that's all. Keep your sessions short, 15, 20 minutes at the most. With a younger puppy, like 6 months or under, you should probably keep it even shorter. But you can do it several times a day, and make sure you mix it up. Don't do the same thing over and over. Take a little break and play some fetch or do some tricks, some other obedience. That way they don't get bored and start to anticipate what they think you want. All right, really important. If you have any questions or issues, you can definitely send me an email at info@doggersizela.com. So big thank you to Lemmy and Happy for helping us out with this.